Hello again, friends and loyal Wolfpack members. Chaos Wolf here, and welcome back to the Elite Dangerous 2.2.03 beta server. And now it's time to get back into one of the things I love doing most in this game. And that's modding ships to the point of absurdity, to where you're not really going to be able to do this on the live servers. So that's what we're doing with this beautiful red Corvette. So we are going to go and modify some parts of this up. I've already modified most of it. So we're just going to go and have a look at what I have done. And then we're going to go and modify up the rest of it. First of all, you can see that we've got nothing but beam lasers. Beam lasers galore. So this is a beam vet. We've already done the multi-vet. We've already done the pulse vet. This is time for the beam vet. So that's what we're doing this time. We're going to have everything modified up in a certain way to try and work towards that. Utility mounts, we've got a kill warrant scanner, a bunch of shield boosters, and a couple of heatsink launchers. Now these are going to be needed. So we'll go back as well. We'll have a look into the core internals. We've got reactive surface composite. So this is one of the first times I'm actually going to be using this. And I really just want to give it a go just to see how good it really is. Next, we've got the best power plant. Now this is modified up a little bit just for extra power output, but it's only modified up to grade 2. As we can see, it's a grade 2 modification. That's all we need. So it's making it so that we can actually run everything we need. We don't need to worry about anything else. We don't need to go up to the crazy grade 5 for this. And why is this? We'll find out in a little bit. We've also got maxed out thrusters modified up with grade 5 dirty drive tunings. Now, I haven't rolled these here because these are the ones that I've literally just swapped over from my Anaconda on live. So I really want to go and see how this is actually going to work with the parts that I currently have on live as well, which is pretty much exactly the same as what the rest of these are. All of these down here are exactly the same pieces I have on live, apart from the power distributor. The power distributor we have gone and modified a little bit extra, because whereas before I had a grade 4 charge enhanced, what we've got this time is a grade 3 weapons focused distributor. Now this only goes up to grade 3. Now the reason we're doing this is because instead of just having more recharge, we actually have more capacity as well. So I just want to go and see how well that works going towards the beam lasers, because these things are going to use a lot of juice. Now let's have a quick look over in the optional internals. As you can see, we've got bi-weave shields. Now this is why we only need a grade 2 modification to the power plant, because these things don't use a lot of power. And at the moment these are not modified at all. We're actually going to go and modify these, or even just swap them over for the ones that I have currently on live. Transfer, and here we go, the 7C bi-weave shield generator that I have on the live server. What this is a small resistance to to kinetic resistance even, and a massive buff to thermal resistance. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to swap that one over to the ship. That's not going to change the power output or power draw at all, so that's awesome. And mainly just all the other parts that I've swapped over from my Anaconda. So we've got the fighter bay, the planetary vehicle hangar, and so on. Now that we don't have that small of internals, I've gone for a collector limpet controller and a much larger frameshift drive interdictor, because on my live server Anaconda we have a 2A. Now we've gone for the best one we can get, which is a 4A. We're going to go and modify this up, see what we can get out of it. So now, first of all, let's go and fill up on some fish, because that is going to allow us to come into the engineer's workshop and we can start working on different parts of the ship. We don't need to worry about the engines or the frameshift drive, because we already have those modified from my Anaconda modules. The first one here that we really could do with modifying is the shield cell banks. Now we can either go for rapid charge, or we can go for specialized. Now rapid charge means that the spin-up time. The spin-up time is the amount of time between actually pressing your shield cell button and them actually activating. So this reduces that by up to 40%. So instead of it taking about 2 to 3 seconds to activate, they could activate in anything as small as about 1.5 to 2 seconds. So that's going to be a lot stronger. It does reduce the duration. The amount of shield reinforcement is increased though. And the boot time's also increased, so that's not perfect. But we're going to go and give this a go. So let's go and preview the outcome. We've got 96 attempts to get this good, but what we can see is when you actually roll on these, you get the little sliders going. Now this one's not too bad, that one's not too bad, but we've actually got some kind of interesting ones here. And shield reinforcement's going up. Ooh, that's nice. Duration's going down. Okay, so that's not overly bad, but what I really want to see if I can do is actually just roll this a few more times to max out both of these blue and potentially try and get these reds as close to the better side as possible, so as far right as I can get them. So I'm going to roll these a few times just to see what I can get. Well, I suspect this is going to be one of the better rolls I'm going to be getting. Now what has happened is we've virtually maxed out on the spin up time, we've virtually maxed out on the shield reinforcement. Now obviously the duration and the boot time are virtually maxed out as to the negatives, or the reductions. We've also got a 4% mass reduction and a 1% integrity increase, so that's quite nice. So I'm actually going to go and apply that one for this one. And what I'm going to go and do is just quickly go and modify up the second one to try and get something similar. Well, first roll, and we end up with almost exactly the same. The spin-up time has actually been completely maxed out and gone over. So we're at 41% instead of the maximum of 40. And the shield reinforcement is virtually the same. So yeah, let's actually just go and apply that one. That's actually quite nice. Now we can modify the fuel scoop, although there's not really much of a point in there. This is the one that I really do want to modify though, is the armor. So there's a bunch of things we can go for. We can go and lightweight our armor. Now what this is going to be doing is reducing the mass by anything up to 55%, reducing our overall protection, so the hull boost, by between 6 and 7%, and then reducing all our resistances here. And I don't really want to have that happen. We can go for different types of resistances, like blast resistance, so we'll get a lot more blast resistance, but we're losing a lot of kinetic or thermal resistance. Again, I'm not bothered about that. I'm not too fussed about heavy duty either. So, because what that would do is increase the mass massively. No pun intended there. But it also gives a massive boost to the hull boost, and increases to all of the resistances. That I'm not too fussed about, because I don't plan to go and do much hull tanking in this thing. But what I'm thinking of doing is, because we've already got a massive amount of kinetic resistance on this, I'm planning to go and modify this up for thermal resistance. We get a lot of thermal resistance, we lose a little bit of kinetic resistance, which is not going to be a massive problem with this. But we do lose some explosive resistance, so I'm not quite sure how well that's going to work. But we'll give it a go. So let's actually go and preview and see what we get for this. Come on, we want... no. So that's not great. That's actually one of the lower ones possible. Now if we got a secondary... Oh, look, it just nudged it over. Now these things aren't too bad when we're actually getting increases here. But I am going to roll again because I want to try and get the thermal resistance to maximum. It's a lot better this time. Now obviously those two are virtually completely opposite end. Thermal resistance going up a little bit. Up point... Oh, that's just a tiny amount up. That's just absolutely ridiculous. Alright, so I'm going to roll a few more times just to see... Actually no, because the hull boost got increased as well there. So you know what? I think I'm actually going to go and keep this one. So there we go. We can modify kill warrant scanners. What can we do with this? So it's just, let's see, lightweight, reinforced, and shielded. None of these are actually really interesting, so I'm not going to bother with them. Beam lasers we are going to go for, because we do need to go and modify up one of these, but we're going to go and do that last. Now, one of the things I forgot to mention earlier is that we actually have some modifications on the heatsink launchers. We actually have them modified for additional ammo. So what this is, we get another use of the heatsink launcher per heatsink. It goes and increases the mass, increases the reload time, but it allows us to have more uses, so that's quite nice. Now we're going to go and modify up one of the shield boosters. As you can see, we've got the rest of them all modified up already for augmented shield boosters, resistance augmented even. So here we go, this is the one we're going for. What this does is it does increase our power draw by anything up to 39%, but we do get an increase to the kinetic resistance. Now here it seems to go all the way up to 12.5%, which I believe is a bit of a reduction over the live server currently. Because I believe it was about 15% on the live server. So these have received a little bit of a nerf, it seems. So let's go and basically go and preview and see what we get. Because what is entirely possible is we could potentially max these things out, like it looks like we're doing nearly. And we could get some secondary modifiers to push these over their maximum. So here we're having a reduction to power draw. Shield boosters going up. Well, that's not too bad. But what I want to go and do is I'm going to go and roll these a few more times just to see if I can get them over the maximum. Wow, this one's actually really nice. We got an increase of 38% on the power draw, but that's not too bad. We have also gone over all of the maximum resistances. So we're now at 12.94 on all of them, so virtually 13. And we even got a shield boost on there of 11%, so that's really nice. So I'm actually going to go and apply that one. And we're going to go and move over to the frameshift drive interdictor. Now, here we've got a choice of two. We've got a choice of expanding the frameshift drive capture arc, the FSD interdictor capture arc, or we can go and increase the range of it. But I'm going to go and put on this one here, so I'm just going to go and see how much more lenient it makes the capture arc, really. Now we are going to be getting a reduction in range, but that's not terrible. So let's go and see what we get. We'll go and see if we can hit 100% on this, or max, which is not far off. We got all the way up to 93% increase. Integrity is going to be going up. Yeah, that's not bad, actually. I'm going to go and stick with that one. Now we can go and modify up the collector limpets, but again, it's just lightweight, reinforced, or shielded. So it's not really useful. I do believe that in the future we are going to be able to modify up the collector controllers to be able to control more limpets, but that's not going to be for a while yet. Now, I believe that's everything modified up short of the beam laser, and the reason I am taking this one last is because we're going to be rolling for the efficient weapon here. Now, as I said previously, this one just looks absolutely amazing and somewhat broken. So we're going to be using this. And because as you can see, there's no negative downsides to this whatsoever. And this roll virtually maxed out everything already. So distributed draw, that's been reduced as well. Wow, that's even better than what I was expecting. Power draw's been reduced. Yeah, okay. Mass has been reduced as well. Damage per second goes down a little bit. I'm not overly worried. It still goes up. But this is the reason why we're doing this last. It's because if we don't get the secondary effects that I want, which it looks like we're not going to, we can actually go and adjust it. And we can even then go and have a look around at the different things that we can have for this. We've got concordant sequence. What this does is causes weapon strikes to temporarily enhance the regeneration rate of a wingman's shields at the cost of increased heat generation. Yeah, we don't want that one too much. Thermal shock means that when we hit the hull of the ship with our lasers, we're going to be heating up the target ship a lot more. So thermal vent, what this does is when we're hitting target ships, our heat dispersion goes up, and when we're not hitting, our heat generation goes up. So when we're hitting things, we're cooler, and when we are missing things, we're getting hotter. Regeneration sequence, this is a friend or foe beam, and this is one of the most interesting ones here. What this does is it's a friend or foe beam, so it damages enemies, and if they're in a wing with us, it actually regenerates their shields. So that's really nice. The next one is thermal conduit. Now what this does is increases the amount of damage we're doing based on how hot our ship is. Now I'm not planning to get hot in this ship, so I'm just going to go and put it up to the friend or foe, because I like this one. So there we go. So you can click adjust, and then choose which one you want. Now, there is a big downside to this, is that you are going to be losing 2 of your grade ranks with the engineer. So as soon as I hit apply, you can see that I can now only go up to grade 3. But that's fine. The beta server, I roll one more thing and then I'm back up to grade 5 again, so it's no big issue. But anyway, that's everything rolled for on this ship. So let's go and find something to blow up and test it out. Looks like we've gone and found our playground, guys. We've got ourselves a hazardous resource extraction site here over in the Corvette system. So let's get in and see what goodies we can go and find. Looks like we've got a few ships showing up straight off the bat. What are we? Oh, we've got a wanted downback explorer. So let's put all the power into weapons. I think that's everything ready to go. Holy crap! Look at that! Wow. Okay. I think this ship is somewhat overpowered. Well, that was just a small ship. Now let's go and see if we can find something larger. I suspect this is going to be a miner. Let's see. Yeah, it is. And we do have someone scanning us. This guy. Ooh, it's a python. Let's actually go and scan him back. He's in a wing, it seems. Oh no, he wants my fish. So just look at his shields melting. But also look at our power weapon distributor going down. So I don't think I have any chaff. But let's look at that. Whoa. I've got to say... Ooh, uh-oh. I'm going to need some... boosting up some of our... Let's go and pop another shield cell. Because we are under a lot of... a lot of pressure here. Now, even when we are maxing out our capacitor, we're still able to do some good damage with this thing. Now, when you're fighting a wing all by yourself, this is a little bit challenging, because you're going to have to go and balance staying alive and actually trying to do some damage. Now, I was not expecting to have to take so much damage straight away. It looks like... Oh, no, no, no. The shields are not going down. We're going to be okay for the minute. Let's see if we can take this ship out of the equation. Because that's going to help. Couple of percent left on that ship. Looks like we've got 4 ships on us currently. There we go. That's that one out of the equation. What's next? A further lance. Wow. Why are we getting absolutely wrecked so quickly? Let's try and take this guy out. God, no, your shield regeneration is not going to stand up to this. Uh-oh, no, shields are fine. Okay. There we go. Let's go and get its power plant. It looks like our shields are going to go down. No, they're not. Wow, I keep getting surprised at how quick we can just get our shields back up. But I think we are currently out Yeah, we're currently out of shield cell banks. Well, there we go. That's that guy out. There we go, and we're dead. Wow, that was interesting. We were doing a lot of damage, but the problem is we were being absolutely hampered by the fact that I forgot to get rid of all the fish out of the cargo hold. Yeah, well, blowing up will generally help you avoid that kind of thing. So yeah, that was kind of interesting, even though it was a little bit more abruptly ended than I was hoping for. Now that was an absolutely amazing experience, and this is an absolutely amazing ship. It's unfortunate that our reign of terror got brought to such an abrupt end, but then again we were taking on half a pirate battalion all by ourselves, and we were basically just struggling to stay alive. Was it that I'd gone and taken different types of shields and maybe buffed the shields up on this a different way? Perhaps we would have stayed alive longer to kill them all. But I'm not too worried about that. It was quite a nice little display to show that this kind of ship is fairly viable. So yes, we can do a lot of damage, but we are going to be limited a lot by our power capacitors and just how much they can go and keep us firing. Right now, I'm not sure whether a grade 3 weapon focused or grade 5 recharge enhanced is the way to go. I'm going to have to go and test that a little bit more, but we'll go and see. Overall, I had a lot of fun playing with this ship, and I'm really looking forward to getting my hands on one of these on the live server, especially since that most of the modules that were in this ship now are actually directly transferred over from my Anaconda. So, like I said, I'm really looking forward to getting my hands on this, and I do think that the full beam loadout is very viable, but we really need to look at some other things like the plasma weapons. But anyway guys, that's going to be it for this video. I do hope you've enjoyed it. Like the video if you've liked it, dislike it if you didn't. Neither of those good enough for you, that's what the comments are for. And don't forget, you can always go and subscribe to this channel for more content like this, or check out any of the videos showing up on screen now. Now, I've been Commander Chaos Wolf from Sci-Fi Gaming, you guys have been epic, I will see you soon. And until next time, my fellow commanders, keep flying, and stay shiny.